Hi, this is Bradley Sowash with another improv tip of the month. Did you notice that that was going to come to an end? What were your cues that were telling you that we were at the end of the tune? How did you know? Listen again. How did you know it was coming to an end? This is what this improv tip of the month is about. It's about how to end tunes. And how did you know? A couple ways you knew. The pitch was dropping and the tempo was slowing. So we're going to talk today about outros. How to make improvised endings to tunes that signal the passenger on the train or the listener to the music that we're about to end the tune. That's what good outros do. And I see a couple people joining already. Hi, Tanya. And go ahead and pop in here, and I'll say hello to everybody I can. So when you end a tune, you want to cue the listener. You want to get the listener to think about that it's coming, so it's not an abrupt stop. Some tunes just suddenly stop, and that is just fine. But other tunes have kind of a warning that we're coming down, and it gets everybody sort of in the place where it's going to end. And then when the ending comes, it's all that satisfying, all that more satisfying. And you want to bring your tunes together to match your intros and your outros. So we talked 2 months ago about intros and about picking intros that were effective for the tune at hand. So you don't want to do like a really basic or corny intro for a really sophisticated tune or a really sophisticated intro to a simple tune. And same thing with outros. You want to look for kind of a matchup. So hey Kathy, thanks for popping in. We're talking about intros today, and the intros that are going to work for students are going to be a little bit different than they are for players. So I'm going to approach this first by showing some simple intros that students love to play and that other people love to teach. So if you're a piano teacher, this is going to light up some eyes and things like that. Catherine just joined. Hey, nice to see you here. And I look forward to seeing some of your chat comments here in a little while. But first I'm going to do the improv tip of the month and then get some questions and answers, or answer your questions. So again, we're looking at intros. I keep repeating it because I know people are just popping in. And we're going to look at some easy intros for students. We're looking at outros, exits. We're looking at exit ramps, ways to slow down the song and end it. So let's just take a simple tune here and put the brakes on. So this is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Everybody knows that tune. Probably the most used educational tune because everybody knows it and because it's not copywritten, which makes it useful. All right, so if we're going to end that tune, we just taught a student that tune or any similar tune in a method book or whatever, a little simple ditty, a nursery rhyme, a folk song, a method book tune with chords in the left hand and melody in the right. We can show them a way to put a little tag on a little ending. And one of those really simple ones that works all across the board really in any style, and it would work in hymns, it would work in kids songs, and it would actually, this particular one would work in any style, any more sophisticated style, which is simply to repeat the last few measures a couple of times. So let's listen to that. How I wonder what you are. We'll do that 2 more times, slowing down. Slowing down, giving a cue like the train rolling into a stop. Finally, much slower. Maybe a little ornament here. Now we know these sounds, and maybe you're smiling like, how can we even teach something so obvious and simple? And yet, if we don't name things, if we don't put a label on them, they're hard to pull out of the bag when you need it. Yvonne, thanks for coming by. So, play the last ending 3 times, the last few measures 3 times, and slow it down as you go. And it will cue the listener that we're coming down to the end. Now, Twinkle Twinkle is maybe not the most interesting song in the world, so let's try something like Summertime. So hush, little baby, don't you, and instead of resolving, we'll repeat those measures. I said hush, little baby, don't you, hush, little baby, don't, slower of all this time, you. change the last chord, which we'll talk about in a minute. So, you know, you can use this idea of slowing down near the end of the tune, like I said, hymns, folk songs, method book songs. It just works a lot of places. Just take the last couple measures, repeat it 3 times, and slow down. It's a great little trick, and listeners know that it's a kind of a cliche, and it cues them because listeners are not musicians, and they're like, oh, we must be coming to the end, and they get ready to clap or whatever. So the first one is to apply the brakes 3 times near the end. Now, a more corny one is to just restate your last one chord over and over. This was a big deal for the first, not the first, but the early symphony writers. You hear this in the early Beethoven symphonies, you hear it in Haydn. It kind of lends this seriousness to their to the big orchestra sound. So this is kind of almost funny. Listen to this. And then sometimes one more. Right? So that can be almost like, it cracks me up. Sometimes that's not just all 1 chords, but 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, which cracks me up. 1, C chord in this case, G7 for the 5. C, G, C, G, C, G, C, G, C, G, C. And you think it's all over, and one more 5, 1. 5, 1. Now you think it's over, but he can't resist. So those sort of endless endings, you can do those, but you better have an amazingly, you know, a piece that precedes it, right? You better have like about 20 minutes of marvelous brass playing and timpanis if you're going to put that kind of an ending. If you put that on the end of a 16-bar song, you're just going to make everybody laugh, which might be the point. That's fun too. Humor's always welcome. So there's a simple one. Just repeat your 1 chord or 1, 5, 1. Okay, another one is to just change your ranges. These are ideas that students can do. These are simpler ideas, and I'll do some sophisticated ideas as we move along here. So a range change would just be to just play the last chords a couple places. And then maybe a low tonic note, sometimes called the button. Now, as much as that seems obvious to us, that's really fun for a student, right? That's really fun the first time that you play those chords all the way up the piano and realize that really it's just the hand shape moving up an octave. And that's exciting. You know, what the younger students or newer students want to do, they want to sound pianistic and rich and full. And one way to do that is to show them about, you can play repetitive figures across the piano. Same chord, same chord, same chord, same chord, same hand position and everything. Oh, that sounds so amazing, and to their non-musician friends, they just think that sounds like they have command of the whole instrument. So that's a fun one. Hey, Gene, Rock, thanks for stopping by. We're talking about outros today, ones that students can do to start with. So if we can take that figure and move a chord up and down the piano in block chords, then we may as well do them in broken chords, sometimes called the Liberace lick. At least that's how I call it, because he kind of made a career out of flashing up and down the piano with his stuff. Here comes Marla. Hey, popping in. I love that. Nice. Thanks for stopping by. So here it is. Okay, so we're going to just run that across the piano. Corny, but it can be pretty cool, actually. So we can do it gently, sort of Debussy-like, right? Let's move this over a little bit. More like Debussy would do it gently, or we could do it... That's really hard, but here's a trick. Take the same chord and play it with both hands. It buys you a little bit of time, and it's no harder. Watch. Right hand, left hand on the same notes. Right hand, left hand on the same notes. Right hand, left. So we put that together at a little bit quicker speed. And now if each hand rolls up and back, C, E, G, C, G, E, C. So, sounds amazing. And what am I doing? I'm just playing a C chord running up and down the piano. What a neat trick to get to show a student. Again, that was just rolling my hands up and back, C, E, G, G, E, C. C, E, G, C, G, E. I said it backwards. C, E, G, C, G, E. Like this. left hand, I think I'm just cheating and playing C, E, G. So it's a big slap the pedals down, and it doesn't really matter how articulated it is. It's a big fun ending. And you put that on the end of a tune, it gets a nice laugh, you know. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah, that's corny and fun, and so is Santa Claus is coming to town. So pick the outro that fits the style you're trying to work with. Okay, let's see what other ideas I can hear. I call that one flying hands. Another one is just to put a little scale on the end. Just play a little scale, just a major scale. Students can do this. They know their C major scale. So C scale. That's an easy one. You can put that on so many songs. If it is a minor tune, it's going to work as well. So I can't think what C. Oops. Let my pickle grow. So that sounded maybe more sophisticated than a major tune. So just running the scale at the end. You know, again, these things are simple, but do we think of them? Can you just toss them off in an improvisation or add an ending? As teachers, you could use this to say, let's improvise an ending, or you could say, when a student inevitably says, as they've said to me on my own pieces, I don't like the ending, then you say, well, let's make up a new one. Or maybe they're working on a composition and they need a little ending. Or maybe they're having doing a little, some gigs, and like maybe it's a Christmas sing-along and the tunes are not so arranged and there's nothing to sort of wrap it up. So these are some nice endings that we can put there. So the last one for students is to mash these up. So far, let's go over what we've covered so far. I have my notes here. The first thing we said was to play the last three measures, or the last two, some section of the end, the last two measures or so, 3 times, and slowing down as we go. Then we talked about repeating that tonic note. You know, I call that "This is the end, I really mean it." And we talked about a range change, repeating a chord up and down as a block chord, and we talked about flying hands, and we talked about scaling away. So it scales away up into the clouds. Now we can mash those all together. I have a little example of that here I'll look at. Twinkle, twinkle. Repeating that measure and slowing down. Even more. And now here's our hand over hand on the piano. And here's our repeated tonic note. And one more little scale. Button. So that's a lot of endings kind of piled together, but it kind of mashed up everything we talked about. All just fun things that students can do as they improvise. Now, I am always big on teaching, when I talk to teachers, teaching teachers tricks to use with their students. Tricks is probably not the right word. But I want to work on their own musicianship as well. So now I'd like to show you some that are a little more sophisticated, only in that they require a little bit of thinking about theory. So that's where we're going to go to next. But first I want to tell you that you can follow a blog about this very subject and see some musical examples on my website, which is bradleysowush.com. It's totally free, this blog. Just come on by and click on blog, and then be sure to subscribe to future blog posts. My blog posts are always about something practical and useful. I don't use blogs to market or waste your time. I always have something useful. So you'd like maybe to read the ones that are there, and you might enjoy getting posts about new ones, which are often hooked to these live Facebook streams that I do every month in the first week. The days kind of move around sometimes depending on my schedule. So go to bradleysowush.com, click on blog, and make sure you put your email address in to subscribe to updates. I promise I won't abuse that and fill up your inbox with too much stuff. I rarely post, and when I do, I make it meaty. I did want to tell you a couple other things. I know that many of you are aware that I teach Facebook. I said not what I meant. That I teach online lessons not on Facebook. That I use online lessons as a group lessons. I'm very pleased with the number of students I have this this session. I'm teaching 2 courses right now, and the second lessons I have a course A about bossa nova. That kind of sound, or we've had 2 lessons on that bossa nova course so far. That was it's every other week on Wednesdays. And then we've had 1 lesson so far on my Charlie Brown Christmas music course where we're playing stuff like Christmas Time Is Here Again, or Skating. And we're learning to improvise on those in the style of Vince Guaraldi. Well, that one has just had 1 lesson so far. So there's still time to get on board. If you'd like to learn some Charlie Brown Christmas music in time for Christmas, you can still join our online live group lessons. These are live and interactive. The students and I are on the screen together, and I do this all with all this mixer and all these mics and things that you probably can't see. Here's a camera that shows my fingers, stuff like that. And it's not the same as Facebook. That's the point I'm making. You can see my hands, you can see visual representations of the piano, you can see notation, I can share the screen. Facebook doesn't really have those capabilities as the platform I use for my lessons. So I'm just wanting you to know that it's not too late to sign up for Charlie Brown, because we've only had 1 lesson on that, and the next one is next Wednesday. And you could catch up by watching our replay video, because everybody who joins gets a replay link to every lesson that they can watch up until August 30th. So I also have a discount for teachers and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to see you there. We're having a ball learning these tunes. And it's not like Facebook. If you can't make those, though, the next set of courses starts in January. So I'll offer 2 new courses. I'm not ready to announce the topics yet, in January, if you'd like to do the 2nd semester. All right, so let's look at some more sophisticated intro ideas that are more for adults, more for people who know a little bit about what they're doing. One of the really cool ways to bring a little bit of color to that last chord is to add either a 2nd or a 6th, and you can also add both. So let's think of a tune. Let's say I just thought of Satin Doll because it's in C. This could be Twinkle, anything. Duke Ellington's tune. Here's the chord I'm talking about. So this chord is called a C6-9 chord. And from the bottom up, it has C, E, A, D, G in it. So I'll just write those out for you here. So the left hand plays C, E, and the right hand plays A, D, G. And that's called a C6-9 chord. And because it's a C chord, but it has a 6 and a 9 in it. And those colors just make that C chord a little more fun than, C, E, G. It gives it that nice, open, beautiful, jazzy sound. It's just a great tune. And there's another way to voice that, by the way. The 2 common ways to voice that is left hand is here, and right hand is here. Is C, G, and then E, A, D. So let's try this on a couple of tunes. Let's make sure you see that. Okay, there we go. So those are the 2 ways. The left hand's on the bottom here, right hand's on top, and the name of the chord is a C6-9. It's just a really neat sound. It just takes an ordinary triad and adds some color to it. So just adding that color will really make a nice thing. Let's see. Let's do it higher. And now I'll play that 6-9. Here we go. Oh, I gotta have C on top. Yep. So this is even another voicing. Yeah, because I had to get the melody note on top. You can voice it any way you like it. In fact, for those of you who are theory geeks, it's the pentatonic scale all spread out. It's all 5 notes of the pentatonic scale. C, D, E, G, A, spread out amongst the hands. So you can play it here, you can play it here. Let's try it on another tune as well. Let's see. What was I doing earlier? Santa Claus is coming to town. So it sparkles. It's a wonderful thing. So that's a C6-9 chord. It has a 6 and a 9 in it. And you can also just use either. You could end it with just adding a D to a C chord. or a second, you could call it a second, or we could add a sixth to it. So now my chord is E, G, A, C from the bottom up. E, G, A, C. So you can use the 6, you can use the 9, technically a second if there's no 6 present. Don't want to get lost in that. Or you can put them all together. Really nice way to make that last chord sparkle. So, okay, let's go on. Here's another trick. The deceptive cadence. A deceptive cadence means that you play a chord that is not what you would expect. So the very last chord of almost every tune in the world is a tonic chord or a 1 chord, or in the key of C, a C chord. So what you do is you precede it with a chord that has the C note or the tonic note in it. If it has that note in it, then it will sound like it was almost right, but the chord was wrong. So here's what I mean. Let's think about it. F has a C in it. The notes are F, A, C. And the C chord has a C in it, C, E, G. So we could just substitute an F. Here's an F chord. Okay? And then it resolves. It's sometimes called the plagal cadence. But we're going to take that a little further and have a little more fun with it. Instead of playing an F, we're making an F minor. So your takeaway is this. Substitute a minor 4 chord. And listen what happens. F minor. So maybe that's not the right sound for Twinkle Twinkle, but it gives that nice, sophisticated surprise. And to make it even more interesting, I'm going to play C in my left hand the whole time, and then play the F over it. So, let me see how that looks. I'm going to put a C in my left hand for this chord, and this chord has an F minor chord, and then this has the C chord. That's the notes I'm playing. And this is the surprise. So the tune is normally going to end on a 1 chord, but you substitute in a minor 4 as a deceptive cadence. So let's listen to that again. F minor with a C in the left hand. And you can, if you want. And then that kind of thing. So that's a nice deceptive cadence that's used kind of in a, sometimes in more of a gospel-y sound, like church music. Here it is. So we've stuck in that little C minor in this case because it was in the key of G. Okay, another deceptive cadence is to go down 2 whole steps from the tonic and then work your way up. If you go down 2 whole steps from a C chord, you get an A flat chord. And an A flat chord has a C in it. We're running out of boards here. So C is the expected note, but we're going to play an A flat chord first and then the C. But in fact, let's put a B flat along the way. So my notes then would be C on the top of an A flat chord, so that is C, A flat, E flat. And then C on the top of a B flat chord, so that would be like that. And then finally C on the top of a C chord. And down here the left hand is playing roots, so something like A flat, B flat, C. So this is another common deceptive cadence that has a lot of drama to it. Oops, forgot my B flat. Okay, let's listen to that. Again, I'll use Twinkle just because it's handy. Now you're expecting a C, but I play an A flat. Oh wow, now a B flat. And now the C. So that's huge sounding. That's kind of needs a big arrangement if you're going to use that one. But again, it's in the category of deceptive cadences, using an unexpected chord in place of the 1. All right. Now, another just common one is to play a half step above. So I'm going to play, instead of a C chord, a D flat, but I'm going to have that C note still in there so that it has that, that sound of, what I want to say, it becomes a major 7. D flat major 7, only because the C is on top. D flat major 7, D flat, F, A flat, C. And then let it go. Okay. going to show you one more really fun one, but I want to talk for a minute not about chords, but just some other ideas. One thing you can do is slow the song down and improvise something that is in free time at the end of the tune. In the bossa course that we're working on, we're playing a tune by Luis Banfa named Man had der Carnival, or also called Black Orpheus. And it goes something like this. And when he gets to the end of that tune, after all that grooving, he slows it way down, so it goes... Down the end of the song. Now, what he does is to get rid of the groove. Now it's free time. Using little elements of the melody from the tune. Threw a little 6 on that last chord, A minor 6. So just improvising in a free way using melodic materials and some of the chords from the tune that can also be a nice sort of unexpected way to wind down a tune. Another fun thing to do is deconstruct a bass line by just taking a note out each time. So let's say we're ending on a nice C6 chord and I have a walk going underneath, C, E, G, A. C, E, G, A, C, E, G, A. And let's just say the song ended here. I'm going to take a note off each time. This is a fun one. C, E, C, E, G, A, C, E, G, C, E, C. So I just knocked one note off each time. C, E, G, A. This time no A. This time no G. This time no E. That can be a kind of fun unexpected trick, and it's sometimes called diminution, or I just think about it as knocking notes off. Particularly works when you have a pattern of some kind in the tune. Another one is to vamp on the turnaround. The turnaround of those last 4 chords that are near the end of most American songbook tunes. So this just don't get around much anymore. Right here. So C, A7, D, minor 7, or D7, G. It's a 1-6-2-5. Here's the 1 chord, 6, 2, 5. So you can do this for an ending. Okay? There's some other stock jazz endings, which is I'll leave for another time. One that came to mind was that's called the bassy ending. I'll show you that some other time. And then let's see. The last thing I wanted to show you is one of my favorite all-time endings, and it really adds a lot of just warm sophistication to a tune. I'm going to show you that in a second. Let me just take a quick look here. Okay, and then we're going to take some questions. So if you want to chat me up some questions, I'd love to answer questions about today, or about outros would be great, or just anything you're wondering about improv, or how I teach lessons, or where I'm speaking, or you know, some gig you're having trouble with. Just I love to answer a few improv questions here towards the end. But I want to tell you that we're running a discount right now on my website because it's fall, and a lot of teachers are buying books for their students. So all my method books, and I have That's Jazz is my most popular method book series, and those are I didn't even think about pulling these out, but here they are. I have 2 method books. The Creative Chord series for a keyboard improvisation method for beginners. It starts very, very simply, and then in the end they can begin to play lead sheets. And so this is a great way to get adult students who don't want to go through the classical route to get playing some pop music, and also works great with kids. So this is Creative Chords. It's on sale right now. If you buy both books, there's a discount. If you get both, it's a bundle sale. So you buy both, there's a discount. I can't remember. I think it's $5 off. And then I have this 9-book series, which you probably have heard of. I'm very well known for this. It's the called That's Jazz. And so it has 3 core method books. This is book 1. And it starts very simply for younger students. These are all mixed up. But let's see, there's a 3 leveled Christmas books that go with it, all involving improvisation in the jazz style in a simple way that students can do. Is another book 3, Christmas. What am I pulling out here? This is a performance book, recital tunes and supplemental tunes for the core method. It's all very random. Here's book 1 of the Christmas series, and there's book 2 of the core method. Anyway, there's 3 core methods and 3 supplemental books and 3 Christmas books. So you can use any combination of those you like. The core method would be the place to start if you weren't sure where to go. So those are all on sale in bundles right now on my website. So if you would like to, hey Kimberly, just stopped by. I know had a conversation with you recently on Facebook. Thanks for coming by. Those are on sale, and so it's the fall and you've been buying a lot of books. So grab that. It ends in the end of September. That sale. So the last thing I want to show you then is a really neat ending that is called the Lydian cadence. And it's a little more sophisticated, a little bit harder to explain in a way. I'm looking for an eraser here. Here we go. So I can write down some chords for you. What you do is you go a tritone or 6 half steps above the expected note. So we're thinking, say we're playing, I don't know, key of C. There's that ending C chord, but we're going to substitute for that a tritone up from C. So the tritone up from C, or 6 half steps, is an F sharp. And from there, actually let's put this on the bottom. From there we work our way down chromatically. So F sharp, F, E, D, D flat, and finally the C. And each of these chords is going to have a C on top in the melody. So we could make that an F sharp diminished chord, and we could make this just an F chord. We could make this a C over G. A C over E. So just working our way down here. This could be a D minor. You can pick out any chord you like. This could be a D flat major, and then you end up on C. Let's each of these has to have a C on the bottom of it. So D F A C D F A. So if I just play what I just wrote here, it's going to sound like this. And I did leave a chord out, so I'm just going to do that again. I left a chord out, the E flat. It's just totally chromatic down. So you're going to come right down from an F sharp, you go a tritone above the tonic, work your way down. It's called the Lydian cadence because the raised fourth. I don't need to explain that. I forgot this note. So there it is. So let's go ahead and put some more notes in there. We're going to have F sharp A C. We're going to have F A C. We're going to have E G C or something like that. We're going to have E flat G C. Always with a C on top. That's what makes it work. D F A C. D flat, F, A flat, C, and finally a C chord. And you can add more colors to that as you like. So this is the Lydian cadence, and to be honest, these chords can be whatever you like. This could be a major chord, this could be a minor chord. You can kind of play with whether it's major or minor. The important thing is the root and that the C or the tonic note flows through. So let me show you how that works. F sharp, F chord. Here's an E-ish chord, or a C over E. Here's an E flat 6. Here's a D minor 7. Here's a D flat major 7. And finally a C, I'll put a 6-9 on it. So let me show you some examples of tunes that do that. Some of you know we're doing this in the Charlie Brown course. Christmas is Coming, it's called. Here it is. part there. That is the Lydian cadence just laid right out. Vince Guaraldi likes this. He also uses it in this Christmas Time Is Here Again. I'll play a little bit quicker than usual. Here it is, the Lydian cadence. So that left hand. And you can work on anything here. Let's put it on the end of Misty, that great old jazz standard. Coming down to the end, we're all primed for a one chord, you know, but we're not going to give it to him. We're going to go tritone above the root of the tonic. Ah! So I just ran a little pentatonic up there. All right, so I am done with sharing some neat ideas for outros. If you want to dig around, you can probably find my my little Facebook stream on intros from a while back. Let's be clear about that. I've been streaming on Bradley Sowash profile in the past, but today I'm on my Bradley Sowash page, and I may switch to that. I learned from my buddy Tim Topham that that's a better way to do things because it helps you keep track of things all in one place and so on. So you can dig around on both of those and look for past videos if you like. Go ahead and subscribe to my blog at bradleysowash.com, and you know, it's not too late to get on board with my online course, which is, we've done just one lesson. I could show you that replay. So do you have any questions I can answer today that you could type in the chat bar? There, I haven't seen any chat, making me think that maybe that's not an option on the page. Since I'm new to the page, maybe I did not enable a chat feature or something, because you're awfully quiet. In the past, we see little hearts and likes and things like that flying by. So if you see a way to chat, maybe do that right now so I can see if that even works. If not, I'll do some research on how to enable that. I may have skipped that step. Okay, so there you can watch a replay of this video on my Facebook page a little later. I think like in like 10 minutes. It takes a while for it to process. And I hope you'll be able to post some questions there, because that's always good. So I see that some of us are peeling out. You can tell I'm winding down, just like the other outros, winding down, slowing down, cueing that the ending is coming. So we're just end with one more little fun thing here. Is the train coming to a stop? Okay, the train's coming along. That's my train outro for today. Until next time, enjoy your creative music making journey. Bye for now.